supposed to feel bad about that? You're like, oh, I'm down here. It's the
I
worst.
just don't know where.
Man.
I was on a cab meeting last night. People were in Santa hats. I'm like, fuck, I need like a Santa hat. Like, where's my Santa hat? But now I was like, shit. I do. Fucking, I don't know where my shit's all over the place now. I'm like living out of a suitcase and kind of all around. But
I did for this one for a couple parties we have this weekend. So I'm like, why not?
I think that's good, dude. There you go. And then the Clemson hat has a tinge of, holiday brightness.
Holiday cheer.
Holiday cheer to it.
I mean, you can't wear a Michigan hat. That would be something different.
Yeah. Wear something a little bit different. Oh, man. That is good, I tell you. Yeah. It has been a long couple of fucking weeks, man. I will tell you that.
What's new, Denker?
Yeah, nothing going on around here, right? Nothing at all. It's just like this integration, all this shit, trying to pull this stuff together. It's like, oh my God. It's just been a total, it's just been so much like kind of coordination and like things I didn't really realize, I'm like, okay, this won't, like, it's been really good and it's been bad. It's been good in the sense of like, there are a few calls now where like, people are asking about all this HR stuff and it's like, not my problem. Somebody else's problem, right? What about benefits? What about 401k? What is like that? Yep. But then there's also this other stuff like what you were talking about, Jont, equity and all these other things. And so, just all this stuff that we got going on. So trying to wrap that up, but I'm pretty excited. Next year should be fun. I mean, at least, being part of a bigger, better org is going to be pretty cool. I mean, almost 2,000 people and they're global and they're growing 50% year over year. And they just, they do all these other marketplaces and all this other stuff. We've already got a half a dozen solid leads with big companies like Atlassian and such, where it's like, yeah, why don't we power your marketplace? Why don't we do that stuff? Right. So it's going to be that much, more fun and having other people to kind of work with and stuff. So
that's cool.
Should be good. Should be good. Just kind of. It was funny though. I will say, like getting like an onboarding email on Tuesday morning. Like it's like, click here. Here's your new email address. Here's your new, and I'm like, oh, I have a new email address. I've been like BD at Tackle.io forever. Like now I'm like Brian.Denker at AppDirect.com. Okay,
So it happened fast. So you're already onboarded.
Yeah, onboarded. Well, I mean, they're keeping all our stuff together, but we have 2 Slacks now, and they're slowly integrating Slacks, and just stuff like that. It's kind of funny.
Well, the ops always are the longest tail of that, right? That doesn't happen for 6 months. Does totally
right. But we're already starting like, hey, deals we take down. I mean, we are fully closed. So deals we take down from here going forward, it's kind of on AppDirect paper via Tackle, but AppDirect paper, right? So we're kind of sorting our way through deals and how to close stuff and how to create AppDirect marketplace deals and all this kind of different stuff, right? So
is AppDirect cross cloud? Like, do they have offers on the hyperscale marketplaces, or they just do marketplace
they don't. I don't believe they have any marketplace listings. We're talking about doing some stuff like that. They are a consulting partner with AWS, so we're kind of sorting out how we're going to pull that stuff together, like with us as a software and them as a consulting partner. And they have a PPA, we have a PPA, we signed an SCA. They don't have an SCA yet. Like there's kind of some cool stuff we can do on that side of things, which I think will be fun. So,
well, the SCA piece though, what would that? Would you do a unique SCA, or would you just burn through the existing SCA and then renegotiate it?
They implied that we could do an amendment to our SCA. We could build in their SCA, and they even implied that just at a high level, glancing at the different things we have on the 2 different scorecards, we could become like a premier tier consulting company, which would mean a lot towards other things, and kind of almost put us up in like GSI type territory and all kinds of stuff. So
that's cool.
But yeah, we're actually headed out to Seattle on Monday night, and we're going to be spending 2 or 3 days like digging through a ton of that AppDirect. Yeah, they have like an AWS Cloud Alliance person, right? And they have like cloud salespeople, and I'm like, oh, hello, Cloud Alliance director. What are you up to? My name's Brian, right?
And Tackle
That's
run,
awesome.
It is. That's going to be hilarious. Is
It
Tackle
doesn't matter. Her
autonomous?
name's Brittany. She's awesome, and she's totally dominated. It's just funny to like the org that we always work with. I'm like, oh, hello, hi. What are you doing with AWS? Oh man. Anyway, so
And you'll be run autonomous, right? Is it just sort of like going to be this division of, or will you be
yeah, it's a
folded in?
division of,
Yeah.
but we're pretty integrated. Like we're not a wholly owned subsidiary. Like John is the GM of the Tackle BU. I'm VP of partnerships and stuff like that, right? So we are integrated in, right? We just, but we're still operating under the Tackle brand, which is great. They love the Tackle brand. The Tackle brand is strong. There may be more things that fold under the Tackle brand, right? So
There's a ton of equity in a Tackle brand. It was
I mean, they were amazed when they walked around reInvent. They were like, wow, like everybody knows your shirts and your things, and they're like, that's pretty impressive, right? So I was like, yeah,
you're the OG of this. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's like you can't Tackle is synonymous with,
yeah, with reInvent and marketplace and this cloud go-to-market stuff, right? So why break that up, right?
Yeah, I mean, it really is, because either way, everyone kind of like rolls through. It's like, well, how do you line up with Tackle? Like, where does that kind of sit? Like, oh, like you know Tackle, right? Like, yeah, okay, well, we are.
Yeah.
Like everyone, like it's almost like Microsoft and Active Directory. It's like like Active Directory does. Okay, cool. Well, we don't do the same thing,
similar but different.
Yeah, exactly. We're kind of like this. Yeah.
Yeah, we've actually had people say that to us in that same vein of like, oh well, we're like literally introduce themselves, like the competitor introduce themselves as like, well, we're different from Tackle because, right? It's like, well, okay, you should lead in with our name, right?
Yeah, but it's the benchmark. I mean, that's what it is, though. It's like you're the benchmark. It's not a bad place to be because everyone has a general idea of like what it is that you guys do.
But I tell you, man, creating a category, like I was talking about with somebody else, creating a category is not for the faint-hearted, man. It is. There's so much. Like we basically are still selling into like unbudgeted space, right? Like we're selling into like, oh well, we don't have a budget line item for that, so we're gonna have to go make one. Whereas if you're coming into security or data or BI or RevOps, it's like, oh, let's swap the budget. I think that's why our competitors have such success trying to pick off us versus creating new, which is what they do more than often, is because we've created the budget. Yeah. So now they're just taking the budget space and saying, oh well, we'll do it for 30% less, right? Whereas we're creating the new budget, right? In these companies and creating the space, which is much, much harder than just swapping out the budget for something else.
Well, you've done the education. Like you've done the education and the due diligence of like, this is what it is. This is how it attaches to your business. And now it's like, oh, okay. Now I can understand like, if I'm a competitor in a sense, like I don't have to do any of that education. Yeah. It's already been established.
That work is hard, dude. Yeah. And that is long, hard work that we do to do that, right? Like it's better. Don't do DIY. This is the better story. This is why you want to do it. Okay. They carve out 25K, 50K. They carve it out, right? I think where we're having more success now is the big folks, like all the big players, especially with AppDirect now, it's going to be even better. They are kind of like, okay, they're just like drowning. You get to 300, 400, 500 million through marketplace and you start to drown. They need help. They need global support. They need private office support. They need agentic stuff. I mean, they need all that stuff, right? So.
What do you last time we spoke, Denker, you were getting ready to go out to reInvent, and I think you'd said like this was your 10th maybe or something like that. But
yeah,
both of you guys have been in marketplace a long time. Where do you think we are now relative to where you thought we'd be, way back in the early day for both of you guys? Because as you were talking about, budgets and carving the path, I certainly have a perspective, but I haven't been in it as long as the two guys. So what do you guys think? Are we ahead where you thought we'd be? Are we behind? Are we kind of on mark? If you think back to the late teens, 2018, 2019.
I'm gonna let Denker take this one, but I will tell you that my battle scars are still healing.
Yeah.
You know, I think,
Yeah.
you know, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's interesting. It's interesting because I don't think I think there was an interesting, like, the conversation started with marketplaces are this brand new way of doing business and it's everything, right? And I think that's still like a little bit of a story. You don't hear it so much. I think that the story that I think where organizations who don't get it they struggle with still with the same thing, defining what their partner strategy is going to look like, different from just a tech ecosystem. And then after they get into that, they get into like, okay, well, how do I think about, partner attributed revenue? And then they kind of get through that hump. I think that organizations that are not necessarily on the marketplace or newly on the marketplace still suffer from the same illness of, you have a sales guy, you have a sales team that landed this amazing deal. It's a whale for your organization. And part of the stipulations of satisfying that deal is that you need a marketplace listing, it has to be satisfied through either Microsoft or Google or AWS. And then you spin this thing up, and then the rest of the organization, or maybe a founder, I'm going to say specifically a founder, gets all jazzed up. And it's like, oh, all of our deals are going to start coming through marketplace. We don't need to do anything. Let's just satisfy everything in the marketplace without any infrastructure, without any integration into marketing, into your go-to-market, into your strategy, into your sales org. So I think those issues still are the same issues, and you have this chasm of those organizations, and then you go look at the same founder looks at Wiz, and it's like, what do you like? Why can't we do that? It's like, dude,
That's what everybody wants to do. How do we be like Wiz? How do we do what Wiz did? Right.
Yeah.
Interesting.
No, I was going to say it is truly, I don't know if I thought it was going to be this sophisticated 10 years later. Like, I don't know what I necessarily knew. Like, it is really sophisticated. Like, it is, when you think of all the different go-to-market, it used to be like an AMI, a SaaS, maybe a metering record, and that was like it. And now it's all the, like, ABOs, and it ties in like funding and ACE, and like, I mean, we were behind the 8 ball on ACE. Honestly, Workspan beat us to the punch there, right? Like, we're like, oh, this co-sell thing's not a big deal, and they came out flying with that, and now we've all kind of stabilized there. Like, it's all this much more sophisticated system that works together and go to market. I did not necessarily think. It might have taken a couple of years for us to see $1 billion go through AWS, like 2015, 2016, 2017. I don't even know if there was $1 billion total going through AWS Marketplace, right? And now there's like a dozen $1 billion sellers every year, and they're hoping to do 100 billion in the next 3 years. It's like the numbers are pretty staggering on how it's worked, right?
Yeah.
The sophistication, I think, and the sheer size is actually surprised me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Right.
I think there's two things. Like, I remember in the early days of Tackle, there was like a conversation about the implication of marketplace on distributors and resellers, and some people even inside the cloud were saying this is going to kill the disty market and all that. And I just remember having a number of conversations. I never really believed that, simply because you think about Jay McBain's 7 trusted partners. I mean, a lot of these, particularly resellers, they've been working with enterprise executives for years, if not decades, and they're not going to go away fight. And I think that's played out. I mean, they've leaned in for the most part, still trying to figure it out. But I don't know. That's one of the things that I remember talking about a lot in the early days that has played out in a certain way. And the other thing is just the enterprise buyers. I still would have maybe not expected, because this is all so new, but hoped that there's more breadth and understanding from the buyer ecosystem, the procurement teams. So I don't know. It's growing, but that thing autonomy is going is
I
broadly.
mean, it is not going away at this point. It is a piece of every cloud business, right? Whether you are AI cloud or whether you are SaaS or even on-prem. You know, I mean, there's I don't know a single on-prem company that isn't at least have some type of, like marketplace Omni type position. You have to, right?
What's on-prem? Is that a thing?
Yeah. Remember they used to ship hardware around?
Remember you used to have like NAS and
DVD.
SANs? Like what?
Right.
What is that? What are you
But
talking
here,
about?
give me the DVD and I'll install it, right? It's so bananas, dude.
Seriously. That's yeah. Let's not date ourselves.
Oh, yes.
It's coming back. It could be coming back. There's companies that I've read about and spoke to that are like, okay, this AI stuff, I don't want to run it on the cloud. I want to run it not even in my own private cloud infrastructure. I want to run it on-prem somewhere. Like,
I mean,
Right
unless
back.
you are the biggest of the big, I think you are bananas, dude.
why would you
That's
do
nuts.
that?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
There's so much work, constantly upgrading and all that stuff, right?
So incredibly expensive. I mean, just the name of it's so expensive across every single category. Like you're not saving
Yeah.
anything,
I mean, unless you're doing it like one of the clouds, at such massive scale with billions of dollar data centers, right? It just doesn't make sense.
And the
Unless
supply
you're a niche. It has to be like a vertically oriented cloud in that sense, quote unquote. But I mean, just do it on your own, like as an experiment, as academia, sure, go have fun. As a business model, like, run your business.
Yeah.
You can spin it up, you can spin it down. Yeah.
So here's another one for you guys. This time of year, everyone, reflects on, the year past. We're there already. I'm looking at mid-December already. This is nuts. It goes by faster and faster every year. But what do you guys see coming next year in cloud go-to-market?
Denker, you take that one first, man.
Sure. I am thinking. So the two things that I'm hoping, and maybe these are somewhat biased. One is the rise of the channel in the disty not being like a third-class citizen inside marketplace. I feel like they have been shoved aside for years, and now it's finally like, yeah, I think we should actually, probably embrace this stuff. Because, they want to grow. I mean, they are trying to grow marketplace at a much, much faster rate than they're growing cloud. So like CrowdStrike grows 10% or 20% a year. Like they want their marketplace stuff to grow like twice that. Well, how do you grow twice as fast as the company itself unless you're continuing to add more areas into the marketplace, right? And so I do think channel and disty, Microsoft just came out with REO, resell enabled offers, which is like their version of DSOR. So I think the rise of the channel this year will be really big. And my other thing is kind of like the rise of the marketplace. All these companies like are yearning for their own marketplace. They all integrate with CrowdStrike has a marketplace or needs one. Snowflake has Atlassian. Like all these companies, Workday, they need like a marketplace of the folks that they work with. And I mean, Tackle is talking about like now that we're part of it, we're looking to create our own marketplace. Like we have a ton of companies that are inside the Tackle ecosystem. If you buy Tackle, you should look at somebody like Pure Channels to go, help with your marketing and all your content and all your data. And you should look at, other companies like, like somebody that can help you do different, like we have like a dozen companies that want to partner and be part of the Tackle ecosystem. Why don't we have a Tackle marketplace, right? So I think with AWS led that way with the whole ability of taking buy with, and you can stick it underneath any marketplace. I think Microsoft and Google are going to follow that. So I think I'm as I'm looking forward, I'm like, okay, the channel and the disty is going to become a real deal this year. And I think the rise of people creating their own marketplaces and actually making them like real, not just a marketing page, but like an integrated, transactable marketplace. So those are my two things that I am like wishfully hoping because I want to be involved in both of them in a big way.
It's on the private marketplace because the each of the cloud providers announced that. I think AWS was first, no surprise, probably 5 years ago, where you can offer a private AWS marketplace, right? Where a big enterprise like Coca-Cola will have a curated list of vendors that they make available.
It's still within the AWS. It's still within the AWS.
That's still within the AWS construct. Yeah. So this is more internally.
This is more
focused.
like the ISV marketplace, I think, of like where everyone's realizing now. I mean, it kind of goes with like the multi-product solutions, which is used to be composable solutions, right? Because everybody's wanting to buy like an outcome, and an outcome is more than a piece of software. And an outcome is like some services and these 4 or 5 different products together and all these things. And so if you're a huge company like CrowdStrike and you're going to lead the way, it's like, well, why don't we pull in the whole, oh, you need to go protect this type of a thing in this way? Like, cool. Like, let's pull in the whole ecosystem and do like a one private offer that sells you all of these things together. Right. So, I mean, it's coming together.
Yeah. I love the idea. I think I agree with you in directionally. I don't know if we're going to see that at scale. In
which one? The marketplaces or the composable?
The marketplaces, like kind of like the privatized marketplaces, like per.
Yeah.
I don't know if we'll see that in 2026. I see that more like a 2027 gaining momentum, 2028. I don't know.
Yeah, will it be functional? Yeah, it'll be a first mover advantage in 2026.
Yeah.
Like no one has it, right? Like, I mean, even Salesforce is like barely transactable. You self-report your money and it's ridiculous, right? Like
is the self-transactable piece that got me what you said. I think findability, I almost call it like a marketing findability marketplace, but the transactability, I think that's really, really hard. And then I think if you think about, there's not a lot of organizations that even have market share to be able to do it, to be able to drive traffic where people are going to want to, I think consumers as well as other ISVs are going to want to be able to have the bandwidth to be able to get their solution into that marketplace, right? Because now if you're the marketplace, if you're the owner of the marketplace, right, you've got this weird security fiduciary responsibility to ensure, just like AWS, every single application meets your security standard. And that's a whole other function in your business. You know what I mean? So that's why I love the idea. I just don't know if we have enough momentum today to see it really come alive in 2026. 2027, I feel better. 2028, I think
maybe 2028. Agreed.
Yeah. There's some runway.
I think it goes.
It's interesting because I've learned so much more about that because that's what AppDirect does. They power 400 marketplaces, so I've learned a lot about that. And I'm like, wow, this is really interesting. Like they power 400 marketplaces worldwide with commerce underneath all of them.
So on that, so it's interesting. And I think John, this is where you're going too. I think what's interesting about this is, like the three of us like live and breathe and do this and we're into it. So as far as we're concerned, it's like, marketplace, everyone does it. Yeah. But there's a significant amount of the world that still looks at this like witchcraft, and it's like, what do you mean? I don't understand, and you have to take almost a step back because we are so far ahead of the curve in terms of who we're dealing with, how we work with it, how we work with AWS, how we work with Google and Microsoft, and how we weave it into the tapestry of an organization's go-to-market, that I think that we need to be careful in a sense of being like, not everyone is here.
Yeah.
Are you telling me that not everybody sees nails everywhere for our big hammer that we all carry? Not everybody has.
No, not at all.
I do think you're right. As you both know, I spent a lot of time with Roman and his cohorts, and he just is wrapping up his 12th one. And it's every cohort. There's all new people from big companies, global companies and small companies as well that are trying to figure out the science behind the witchcraft, to your point. So it is amazing. We are so far ahead of the curve to the rest of the world. But again, I think, and it goes back to the comment on the private marketplace, it's the buyers. If they start rallying around this idea because it is easier, it simplifies the procurement process, I think then they'll be pushing vendors forward. It might be the private marketplace ideas. It might be just more public transactions, but I hope to see more buyer awareness in 2026 and beyond.
I think there's another piece to that too, that I did not appreciate it as much as I still don't really appreciate it, but I was not as aware of it as I am now, right? And it is the maturity curve between all the marketplaces. Like I could talk to it, like, oh yeah, AWS is the most mature, and this is why, with APIs being open, and you'll be able to suck all that data in and be able to integrate. That's great. That's fine. That's like nirvana. But still, when you get into AWS, you're still like, I still have 35 different portals that I have to manage separately that I'd like to see from one dashboard. That's in and of itself, that's a thing, right? But then as you kind of roll down, like that availability of data to pull easily into a tackle, into whatever software you're using, and then pull that automate all of that through the marketplace, like Microsoft or Google, like that API availability, it's a steep drop off. So there's a lot of manual stuff you start doing, and then you start looking at the different portals, different marketplaces, within, or not marketplace, but the different portals within those different hyperscalers of what you need to have integrated in order to have a true go-to-market strategy that includes the marketplace. There's a difference between, I want to do it, and then once I get into it, this is what I need to do in order to make this motion viable. And then there's another conversation of like, okay, I can't necessarily automate as much as I want to automate. So how many heads do I have to throw at this? And then how do I have to train them? And what other jobs do they have? Because I'm probably not hiring specifically for this role of, let's say, marketplace management within my organization. Like there's a lot of hooks there, that I don't think we appreciate enough and talk to enough with organizations about how do you structure your organization from a manpower point of view to be able to reap the benefits.
You didn't even talk about a single thing of platform there. That's kind of my point of where this is going. It's like a platform is interesting and it helps you make things efficient, like the tackle, but it's all about the enablement and the processes and the people and the functions and the cross-functional support. That's like so much more of it than it is actually the just the API connections, right? Yeah. So that's where this space is going.
It's co-selling. It's just the basics of co-selling, and then it depends on what. And then if you look at your sales group, right, and you say, all right, cool, like what segment are you in? What does co-selling mean to you in this segment of your business? It's not going to mean the same thing in, let's say, an SMB part of your business that it is going to mean in your enterprise business. They're not the same. And the sellers have to have a different sort of enablement and understanding of how to communicate that to their prospects throughout their sales cycle. And that's the point, Brian, is like, it has nothing to do with the platform. That has everything to do with just education and then rolling that education downhill.
You're changing the go-to-market system. It's like every company's CRM, they're all different. I mean, we've all been living in Salesforce. Was living in Salesforce across many companies over years, and everyone is different. So that's the way I look at it. Is we are changing with cloud go-to-market, the go-to-market system. So it's contextual to, like, the implications are contextual to how that go-to-market system is organized and operated. But you're basically changing every facet. And I think that's the biggest struggle that people have is, legal, business operations, obviously, collections, tax, go-to-market. So it's a bigger leap than the cloud providers would tell people.
I mean, that's the maturity you were talking about. Like 5 years ago, it was just get up a listing, shove a couple of deals through, like ignore everybody else, just get a couple of champions in the sales team and kind of do it, right? That was what it was, right? Just get a listing. And now it's like so much more. It's like a full route to market. You're setting up and you're managing and it's growing. And like I said, it's become sophisticated and
Dare I say, I would almost go as far as say, and I haven't looked at this, and maybe I'll have egg on my face at the end of this, but when I look at, let's say, if I was an HR leader and I'm looking at creating listings for, like BDRs and what have you, I don't know how many of those types of roles, if an organization is really serious about it, includes details about being able to co-sell or co-sell elements within that curve. Because co-selling is cultural within an organization. It has to be part of your DNA. And it has to be part of your recruitment and your hiring and your promotions and how that rolls through the organization. And it has to be associated with, your quotas and your commissions and things of that nature. I don't think the market has, I don't think we've done enough in terms of driving that cultural shift of selling into organizations. I think we could do more there. And I think
that's what really makes it happen, right? Like once that happens,
it's a skill set. It's absolutely a skill set. You
think of all the big sellers, the CrowdStrikes of the world and all that, it's like cultural into their system, right? It's just like built into how they do things, right?
Starting top down.
It starts in literally, if you look at your sales cycle and you say, okay, it starts in discovery. Like that's where it starts. It starts in outbounding. Like it is part of the conversation. And if I am the VP of sales, what have you, and I go back on my gong calls and I start listening and I don't hear any positioning of marketplaces or hyperscalers or how do you procure and any of that, like that's a problem. If then on the other side, I'm saying that a significant component of our go-to-market is co-selling with an AWS or a Microsoft or with a Google. Like they can't live on islands.
Yeah. No. Well, I mean, you can't do one without the other.
Yeah.
I think we could go on and on, which I love about our little sessions here. We're a little over 30 minutes, so maybe on this one we'll wrap it up with like
so fast.
what's everybody doing? It goes, it flies. What's fun stuff? I mean, Denker now lives in a vacation land, but let's wrap on some like what's happening for you guys over the holidays. Any downtime or just grinding right through it? Anything fun?
Oh, I'm headed back to Boston, believe it or not. We are doing Christmas in Boston. And my new company that I now work for takes the 25th to the 1st off every year as a complete company shutdown. So I'm actually pretty excited.
Welcome to the team.
I get a nice week off that I wasn't planning. I'm like, sweet. So I will be hanging out in Boston from the 25th to the 1st, then we'll be back down here soon after. So
did you say that we're going to a Celtics game? That's what I heard you say. That's what I heard.
I am going to the Pats game. Pats game on Sunday.
Oh, dude, you can go to the Pats game. I do not want to sit in traffic for like 8 hours.
Well, that's true. But the Pats Bills, come on, this is gonna be like the game of the season.
Fair.
It'll be a good one.
So
how about you?
Oh, dude, I don't know, man. I think I'm just kind of lying low. I'm going to try. I can tell you what I'm trying to not do. I'm trying not to buy another dirt bike or a snowmobile.
You can never have too many.
I know. I don't need to hear that.
I need a little bigger one. I need a little smaller one.
Seriously.
Wait, if you were to buy, because I know the 2 dirt bikes you have, if you were to buy one, what would you buy?
Okay. If I was, I'm not going to. I say that today.
Just hypothetically, maybe if you were.
Hypothetically, I could see myself on. I think there's a KTM 500. I think it's more of an enduro bike. I think it is. I could see myself with that KTM. I could see that because I'm kind of. I think I want to be in.
You want a little bit bigger, a little more road gravel kind of type bike.
I want a little bit bigger bike. I think I want something a little bit more punch. And
the KTM 500, if you get the true, I have a buddy who had it and actually sold it for a 300 because it was too much.
Dude,
it's a lot of bike, dude.
That's a serious bike.
Right.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a lot of bike.
Yeah. I mean, that's what I would.
All right. So I'm going to be looking for that next year. Sweet.
Yeah. I'll give you a review. We'll do a review on the channel. Springtime. All right, John, what are you doing?
Yeah, what are you doing, John?
Yeah, so we're gonna take a trip down to Mexico City, which I'm excited to
Nice.
do. Never been.
Mexico City. Interesting.
Yep, little
So
bit
not on the coast, into the city.
into the city. And here's a fun fact that was news for me: is it's in the mountains, it's elevation, obviously not on the coast. It is. If you think about Denver, it's a mile, 5,200 square feet, something like that. This is 7,300 square feet above sea level. So it's seriously
It's higher than Denver, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't know that. So we're really excited. Our
And it's like
oldest
the
and
biggest city in the world, right?
number
it's
5.
like
Another thing.
Number 5. I mean, it is. Yeah, that is going to be huge. Wow.
Aztec pyramids. To know that they're there. So it's good. Yeah. So that's what we're going to do. Then a little bit of downtime. So really excited. Well, guys, let's wrap up on that one. That's some good stuff.
Very cool.
Seeing pictures of Amin's new bike next time we talk.
I'm not committing.
Come on. That'd be cool.
End the year well. Good talking to you as always.
Yeah. We'll connect again in January when we all know a little bit more.
Yeah.
Very good. Sounds
See you
good,
guys.
man. Happy holidays, folks. Later.
Take care, guys. Bye.